Denzel Washington has had one of the best acting careers in the history of Hollywood, but he still regrets turning down what could have been his best movie of the 1990s. There are several roles that have defined Washington's career over the years, from the righteous fury of The Equalizer to the captivating corruption of Training Day, as the actor steadily became one of the most famous actors in the business. However, despite Washington's impressive repertoire of movies, Washington has stated that he still regrets his decision to turn down a role in the 1995 David Fincher crime thriller, C7EN. Starring Brad Pitt and Morgan Freeman, C7EN was released to critical and commercial success, grossing $327.3 million at the box office worldwide. The movie follows the world-weary and nearly retired Detective Lieutenant William Somerset, Freeman, and his newly transferred partner, David Mills, Pitt, as they hunt down a serial killer whose crimes mirror the 7 deadly sins. C7EN was a sleeper hit when it was released, and its shocking twist ending has been regarded as one of the best in cinematic history. Therefore, it's interesting that C7EN could have been a Denzel Washington movie if he hadn't declined it. C7EN would have been one of Denzel Washington's best 1990s movies if he hadn't turned it down. Washington's take on Mills would have been very different. William Somerset, Morgan Freeman, and David Mills, Brad Pitt, flashing their flashlights in C7EN. In 2018, in an off-script interview with Jamie Foxx for Grey Goose Vodka, Denzel Washington was asked by Fox, "Have you ever said no to something that you wish you had said yes to?" After thinking for a moment, Washington stated that he regrets turning down C7EN. Elaborating that, "They wanted me to play the Brad Pitt part. This potential casting would have meant that Denzel Washington could have appeared alongside Morgan Freeman in the 1995 film, as Brad Pitt's part in C7EN was to play the role of newly transferred David Mills, partner to the disenchanted Detective Somerset." Denzel Washington notes that he regrets turning down C7EN after seeing the movie, despite previously thinking that the script was too demonic, remarking to Fox that, "I blew it." As the movie follows a serial killer who is obsessed with the 7 deadly sins, it makes sense that Washington may have found the initial concept quite dark. In fact, test audiences originally hated the movie, criticizing C7EN's ending for being way too morbid. However, the movie was a sleeper hit and its iconic yet grim ending actually cemented its status as one of the best thrillers of all time. Although he turned the role down, C7EN could have easily become one of the best Denzel Washington movies of the 1990s. The actor would have been brilliant in Brad Pitt's role in C7EN, and it is very likely that his casting would have changed the film. Washington's take on Detective Mills would have looked very different to Pitt's, and the character may have been more headstrong and angry. This would have played into the ending even more, as Mills became the final victim, Roth. That being said, Denzel Washington starred in plenty of other movie roles throughout 1995 instead. C7EN would have faced stiff competition from Washington's Malcolm X. Malcolm X was a standout role for Washington, despite its box office. Although it is disappointing that we will never get to see what Denzel Washington would have been like in C7EN, the movie would have faced stiff competition from Washington's Malcolm X. This 1992 Denzel Washington movie follows the real life of Malcolm X, based largely on the events described in Alex Haley's 1965 book, The Autobiography of Malcolm X. With a budget of $35 million, Malcolm X earned just $73 million at the box office, which is surprising considering the movie was so highly praised that it was selected for preservation in the United States National Film Registry in 2010. Malcolm X earned Denzel Washington 2 Best Actor nominations, for the 65th Academy Awards and the New York Film Critics Circle Award, for which he won the latter. Therefore, despite the intrigue surrounding how great Washington's role in C7EN would have been, it would have faced a real competition against what has become one of the actor's most notable and poignant roles, at least in terms of acting performance, as C7EN had a much higher box office than Malcolm X. However, you cannot help but wonder if Denzel Washington's role in C7EN would have made the movie even more legendary.